Cookies and Jungle Man Sam? Yes, please. I hope you guys are ready. We are gonna make some super fun mug cookies. I'm excited. So the idea only occurred to me yesterday. I actually saw somebody posted on their feed on Instagram that they made a mug cookie, and I went, mug cookie? What? That's a thing? People are doing like cookies in a mug? What? So I looked at a couple different recipes and I put together something special for us using our keto brick because they're doing another launch on Sunday, and I thought, what a better way to do another new recipe for our keto bricks. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do the cookies and cream crunch. Now, Crystal Hastings Soaps, the lovely, has made up our recipe cards already. So they're posted on Facebook, they're posted on Instagram. If you guys are looking for the recipe, it's already out there for you. Now, for you guys watching on Facebook, I'm going to give you a second warning. This is our last official Facebook Live. From now on, we're going to be doing Instagram and we're going to do YouTube. So, our last one. I'm kind of like excited and happy and sad at the same time about it. But this is officially our last Facebook Direct Live that we're going to do. So we're going to do it up today, and we're going to have some fun making cookies. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rough chop about 2 tablespoons of our cookies and cream keto brick. And we're going to get a nice rough chop on there. I always find that when I start cutting it up, it makes so much more than I thought it would. Like, I cut off this much thinking, oh, that's 2 tablespoons. It'll end up being like 4 or more. So I do find that when I'm using it for recipes, that my keto brick lasts me a long time. I think we've already made 4 recipes out of the cookies and cream one, and I still have a fair amount left. So I know people ask me a lot about the value for money on the keto bricks. It depends on how you purchase them. The base price is $12 each. If you buy them in a week supply, they're cheaper. If you buy them in a 2-week supply, they're a lot cheaper. But for me, I can't say that $12 for one meal replacement would be cost effective. For me, I would never spend $12 on a meal. But the way that I use them and incorporate them into recipes, and I use them for an extra bump of, it's got all the good things I need in them. So for that, I find it to be highly cost effective because I'm averaging 6 to 8 recipes per brick. So for me, that's a really good value for money. Now, we're going to do one other variation from how the recipe is posted. Now, this recipe is posted to use just the egg yolk. Now, that's partly for density of the egg and partly just for the quantity of the egg. But I don't have anything I want to do with egg whites today. So rather than using 1 yolk per recipe, I'm going to mix 1 egg and split it between the recipe. So let me grab a cup. And we're going to start mixing this up. Okay, so we're going to start with the first cookie, and we're going to put 2 tablespoons of our cut up brick, and then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of almond flour. This can be almond, it can be pecan, it can be walnut, whatever flour you prefer. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of that. And then we're going to add just a teeny little pinch of baking powder, about 1/4 teaspoon. I'm more of a sprinkler because I make these kinds of things all of the time. And then we're going to melt down some butter. We want 1 tablespoon of butter, so I'm going to melt down 2 so that we can have for both recipes. And I'll get this melting. And let's mix up our eggs so that we can divide it in half. But again, you could use just the yolk per recipe if you want to. but I don't have anything to make with egg whites today. Normally I would save the other half to do meringue or marshmallows or something like that. Okay, so then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of our melted butter. There we go. We're going to add a smidgen of vanilla, about 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to add half of our egg or 1 egg yolk. But I'm just mixing the egg together, and we're going to use half of our egg. There we go. And mix that all up. Now, you can also substitute this almond flour with ground pork rinds if you are carnivore like my Joette. Now, this is going to make more of a dough than the kind of batter that we use for cake. This will be quite a firm dough. We could also roll this up into little cookie dough bites and add them to ice cream. I think would be really nice. And then I'm going to add some of my Coco Polo chocolate chips. And we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips in there. Mix them in. And you can see it is a very firm dough. A very firm cookie dough. Now, the original recipes that I had looked at called to bake it together in 1 ramekin. For me, I like to portion out things. You guys know I like to get us portionable meals. So we're going to portion this out into 2 cookies. And I'm just going to show you the texture of the dough. It's a very firm cookie dough texture. So we're going to split that in half between the 2 ramekins, and we're just going to press them down into the bottom. Now, this would make an awesome cookie dough crust as well. For a pie, that would make a really nice crust. So we're just going to push them down inside the ramekin like that. It looks like my second one has more of the chocolate. Oops. Oops, dang it. We'll have to eat that one first because that one has more chocolate in it. Oops. Such a pity to have too much chocolate. I don't even know what you could do about that. How could I have too much chocolate? There's no such thing, Dory. No such thing. Okay, so these ones are ready to go. We're going to pop them into the microwave for 1 minute. Now, you can either throw these into the microwave or you can pop them in your oven. If you bake them in your oven, they're going to make a little bit crispier cookie. But microwave 1 minute. And while we're doing that one, I'm going to scoop up the rest of our brick and we're going to start cutting up on the cinnamon one. So we're going to make our chocolate chip cookie and we're going to make a snickerdoodle cookie as well. So I'm just going to add my cut up brick into my bag and we'll use that for another recipe next week. Waste not, want not. That's what I say. Waste not, want not. And I haven't actually got a chance to taste the cinnamon brick yet. So we're going to do a taste reveal as well. And I'm going to try the cinnamon for the first time for you guys. I'm excited. Okay, so let's crack into this cinnamon one. I've tried the mocha and I love the mocha. Okay, let's, oh, did I open that low enough? I did not open it low enough. Gotta cut it right on the zipper, Dory, right on the zipper. There we go. Okay. Woo, I'm excited for the cinnamon. Oh, that smells so good. Ooh, yummy, yummy. Okay, so when you get your full brick, this is what a brick looks like. And it just comes out in one piece like that. So we're going to cut a little bit off the end. And this melts down really, really well. It's crumbly when you cut it, but when you melt it down, I use it to make hard candies as well. And that is really nice. Okay. And the other cookies have popped, so I can take those out and show you what they look like. Okay. Check it out. Check it out. Let me grab a spoon and we'll taste it. So it's crispy, but still kind of gooey. That would be so nice with ice cream. Oh. Now, I forgot to add sweetener to this one. I'm going to add a little bit of sweetener to the next one. I'm really happy with that though. I wonder if we could take it out of the mug as an actual cookie. Let's try it and see what happens. Oh, check that out. Check it out. Comes out like an actual legit cookie, dude. I am totally impressed with that. Look at that nice texture. It's like a light... Oh, I just put chocolate on my nose. With this finger. Chocolate nose, Dory. Chocolate nose. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm totally blown away by this. This is my new favorite way to eat brick. Yep. Yep. Cookie brick. That's it. I'm all over it. Oh my goodness. Okay, take that away from me, because holy man, I eat the whole thing. That is yummy. So, your 2 cookies is 1 serving. So again, when we do our portion control recipes, the beauty of that is you can have 1 cookie, save 1 for later, or you can guilt-free eat both cookies because they're only 1 serving. Okay, we got a couple questions, so I'm going to take a quick scroll. Oh, Miss Marcia, you missed our earlier live. We're still going to do lives. We're just not going to go live from Facebook anymore. We're going to start doing it from YouTube, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, where do I get the bricks at? So, this is how it works with the brick. Every about 2 weeks, they do a release. So, they don't carry a bunch of stock in the warehouse to get stale. They produce what they will sell in 2 weeks. They do a release, they sell it all out, and then they make their product for the next 2 weeks. So, the next brick release is this Sunday. So you go to theketobrick.com and you can get your order all placed and all ready, and then they'll ship it out to you. So that's how that happens. I personally get mine from Joette. Joette sends me my bricks to experiment with. I've had a couple ladies send me bricks to experiment with. So that's how I get mine. I get mine that way. So we're going to start out with 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to mix it in this same cup because it's just cookie. So we're going to start out with 2 tablespoons. This one is our cinnamon brick, and we're going to make a snickerdoodle cookie with this one. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of that. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of our coconut flour. And we're heaping the teaspoons because Dory ran out of big spoons. There we go. Okay. And then to this one, I'm going to add a sprinkle of cinnamon. And we're going to remember to add the sweetener in this one, because I forgot in the last one. Although it's not bad. Even without the sweetener, I won't lie, it's quite tasty, even without the sweetener. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of my allulose. It's my favorite new sweetener, by the way. I'm going to add a teaspoon of that in there. I don't care for a lot of sweetener, and I actually really don't mind the cookie without any sweetener at all. So if you want to omit it, you can feel free to omit that. Okay, let's get our melted butter in there, our tablespoon of melted butter, and the other half of our egg. And again, you can either do this with just the yolk, or you can do it like I did and just mix 1 egg and split it into 2 separate batches. And omit the almond flour for carnivore and swap it out with pork rinds instead. So we can see that again, immediately we get a really nice, heavy cookie dough texture. So we're going to divide that in between 2 ramekins. I'm going to use the one that I had my egg in. And I'm just going to give it a quick wipe so that the egg part doesn't cook in there yucky. Now, the directions said to spray out the ramekin. I forgot that, and the cookie came out good. So I'm going to say spray or don't spray the ramekin. I don't think it's going to make a difference. Okay. So, I'm going to divide this batter into two. Well, I've never had an actual snickerdoodle before, so I'm kind of curious what this is going to taste like. I've never had a snickerdoodle cookie, but I hear they're really, really yummy, so I thought, why not make a ridiculous snickerdoodle? Okay, and then we're going to, same thing, just press this into the bottom of the ramekin. One, and two. I never knew that cookies could be this quick and easy, and I think this is going to change my life. You got to let me know if this is going to change your life too, because instant cookies, like, man, did I never think that that would happen in my lifetime. Okay, microwave, 1 minute. And I'm going to finish eating this cookie while we're waiting for that one. I love the thickness of that cookie. That, for me, is the exact right size for a cookie. And it's like more of a cakey style cookie, kind of similar to the Fat Snacks ones. About that kind of texture. I'm a huge fan, I won't lie. Why do we invent such good things together? I'm just saying, we invent all the good stuff together. Holy man. I think we eat better than anyone. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to say we eat dang good. Okay, how many carbs does what have? The cookie, the easiest way to track it is by what ingredients you use. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. I never include macros with any of my recipes, and that's for a reason. Because the ingredients that you use are going to affect your macros. So, say for example, I say to you, these cookies are 3 carbs for the 2 servings. But then you don't have allulose, and you make it with Swerve, or with stevia, or with ethanol, something that has carbs. So now you've added carbs in your sweetener, and it doesn't match the recipe. So if your almond flour is slightly different ratio than mine, if any of your ingredients are different, right, then the carbs are going to be different. So the easiest way to track your macros is by ingredients. So for this one, it would be 2 tablespoons of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of brick, tablespoon of butter, half of an egg. And that's how you figure out what the macros are in the entire recipe. But unfortunately, I find that if I put what the macros are on a recipe, then people don't check their own macros, because they just look at the recipe and they go, oh, well, this recipe is this many grams of fat, this many grams of carbs, I'm good, I'm going to add that to my list. But the problem is, if you're making it with different ingredients, which is almost always the case because I live in Canada, then your macros are going to be different. So the easiest way, if you track, which I do not, I'm going to let you guys know that up front, I do not track my macros. But if you do, the easiest way is to just enter all of the ingredients into your carb manager and then divide by the amount of servings, and then you'll know what your full macros are. And Deb says I only worry about the carbs. Now, the recipe that I looked at said that it was 3 grams of carbs for the 2 cookies. But ours will be a little bit less if you're using the allulose, because the allulose zeroes out for carbs. So it depends on your sweetener. But for this recipe, you're looking at somewhere between 2 and 4 grams of carbs for both cookies. So not a lot. I think especially if you're doing really, really low carb, I think, 4 or 5, even at the top end on 2 cookies is really not bad. So let's pop one of these snickerdoodle cookies out. Oh, look at how nicely that flipped too. Look at that. And then we have our snickerdoodle cookie. So that is how we do it, guys. That's how we make instant mug cookies. So I'm super excited. Now, I do know they have a website for this one. It's Wholesome Provisions is where you get this brand. They also have some other products. They're sending me out some lupin flour, and we're going to start experimenting with that. I'm super excited. It's a low-carb flour that we can use as an option. So definitely check out Wholesome Provisions. They have a website. I think you can order them through Amazon as well. Guys, do me a favor. Go find their Instagram and their Facebook and follow it. It's teeny weeny. Like, it's teeny weeny. When I found them, I was like, dude, you have been on Instagram longer than I have. They don't have that many people following them. I think that not a lot of people know how awesome this sweetener is yet. So go find them on Instagram. Show them some love. What I like about the allulose is, one, it zeroes out for carbs, and two, it caramelizes. It will cook up like a real sugar. So that means brittles, it means sauces, it means syrups, it means ice creams. So definitely go show them some love. I am loving these guys these days. My absolute favorite. So I'm going to sign out. I hope you guys have an awesome afternoon, and let me know if you make the cookies. I'm going to take some pictures of these ones for my Instagram, and I'm going to sign out. When we do our live tomorrow, we're going to do Fun Flavor Friday, and we're going to be doing that live from YouTube instead of on Facebook. So if you guys are watching the live on Facebook, make sure you pop over to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, set the little notification, and then when I hop on live tomorrow, you can catch me on YouTube. So it'll be our first official YouTube recipe live. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and I know we're going to get through this whole Facebook thing. We're going to get through it, and it's going to be way better on the other end. I love you guys. Let's get our tunes back. Jungle Man Sam, squeeze ya, put my arms around ya. And cookies, like what? Cookies. See you guys later. Have an awesome day. Make cookies.